James Lynch here with the American gangster Chael Sonnen. We are ahead of Bellator 300. First, Chael, how cool is it? You've been to a lot of big events in your career. Where does this one rank as a member of the media?
It's amazing. It's 300. You know, I guess I kind of took that for granted. You know, the UFC does something big at 100, and they've had 200 and 300 coming up. I didn't realize Bellator is the first to 300, right? Chatri's putting on shows, and I don't even know if Eddie Hearn has put on 300. I don't think Bob Arum or Don King has put on 300 shows. I didn't realize that until today. I get up on that stage, and you got Coker up there. They want to ask him everything in the world. Got all these rumors going on about a sale. He committed to answering these questions on Saturday. By the way, he's either not coming to that press conference or he's going to tell us on Saturday, and I'm as curious as the rest of the world. I thought that was one of the bigger revelations of this whole thing. Then you got 3 world championships. All the champions are favorites. All the challengers are dogs. I don't know that I agree with that. I actually...
Which one in particular do you think should the odds be a little bit closer?
This is going to surprise you. People tell you that MMA math doesn't work. It works all the time. It's the first thing that the odds makers will look for is a common opponent. They've got a common opponent with Amanda Nunes, who beat Cyborg and who Cyborg's opponent defeated. I mean, I think that Kat Zingano having a win over Amanda is extremely relevant, not to mention Kat hasn't lost since she's been in this organization. That's a hard fight. Yeah. Cyborg's a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong. Cyborg should be the favorite. I think it should be closer.
Yeah. Do you think the weight will make a difference in the sense that Cyborg has fought in that weight class her whole career? Kat moving up, only a couple fights. Will that be a factor?
You know, Kat started to win me over just when she was making comments. She moved out here to San Diego and she was training. But she's mentioned everybody, you know, from Miller, who I happen to know because I follow wrestling, watched her in the Olympic Games. She's mentioned Dominic Cruz. I'm listening. She's mentioned Altos. I'm starting to listen and go, she's got the right training. And I do think when she listed it, it's pretty grappling heavy. And when you talk about the size, yes, it really does matter. But if you can take that power of Cyborg away by grappling her, I mean, that's been the blueprint from day one that nobody's been able to do. But we all watch it and think, well, when she runs into that, it could be a problem. I think that problem is Saturday.
How much of a chance do you give Brent Primus, Oregon guy, right? It would be nice to see him. The last time he was in a big fight like this, Michael Chandler, he got it done. Granted, there was an injury there, but what do you think of this fight? Because it's very one-sided on the odds.
Nurmagomedov is all but annoyed. He was annoyed to be here. He was annoyed with his opponent. He was annoyed that anybody thinks that this is going to be a challenge. Timeout. Nobody here did Brent Primus a favor. I mean, Brent Primus didn't have some relationship with Kogan and calls him up and says, "Get me the fight." He didn't call in on short notice. It's a tournament, and he earned it here. Nurmagomedov does need to know one thing, and this guy is wonderful. He needs to know one thing. Doesn't matter if it's the NCAAs or the Olympics, baseball, basketball, football, any way you want to do it. The semifinals is a hard round, and he's got a hard fight against a former champion.
I want to ask you about a couple other things in the news.
You can't get this anywhere. You can't get this level of breakdown anywhere. How lucky did you when we just crossed paths? Hey, Chael, can you come talk to me? I mean, what an incredible opportunity you have right now.
It's just incredible that I'm here, right? I mean, it's crazy. I haven't been to a Bellator event since Tacoma last year, so it kind of worked out. It was a match made in heaven. I didn't even know you were here until I saw it on the itinerary.
People are out there getting dressed up. I got a smudge on my Lynch and a stain on my jeans, and I will still be the highest rated video you do today. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. What is it? I mean, last time we spoke, your channel is obviously, everyone's watching it. It's one of the biggest ones out there. Okay, but how does it feel that you're influencing the news?
I love it. I really appreciate you saying that because that's a lot of work, as you well know. You're a hard-working man yourself. But you got to put that time in. You got to be consistent. And when the audience counts on you and comes to you for something, you now have a deal. You now have a relationship. I appreciate you saying that. That's a big compliment, but it feels great. I want to be impactful.
What do you make, though, like, you know, for example, I know you mentioned Kamaru Usman should be looked at as a backup for Chimaev and Costa. There are sites out there reporting that that's a thing because of an opinion you had. Do you notice stuff like that?
I do, and I actually have an update for you.
Let's hear it.
Eric Alberson, Captain E, who is the manager and possibly trainer, maybe I flip-flop those, of Paulo Costa, called me this morning because he saw the piece that I did. He said, Chael, what you might not know, we're not coming in on fight week like everybody else. He said, we're already here. As a matter of fact, we've already been here. And I'm talking about not only Fight Island, they are checked into the hotel, the same hotel. Both Paulo Costa and Chimaev have already checked in to the hotel. They are 100 yards from the venue right now. So whatever I was seeing about this fight getting a little weird, the UFC saw it too, decided to write a really big check so these guys can go move into the hotel already. They're covering their food, they're covering their teams. They got a gym for them to train, but they're starting to see each other. And a lot of times that will in easement, all of a sudden, you know, you and I come over and we say hello, and then we go about our way. It's the opposite when it's Chimaev. That gets under his skin, and then he's going to get under Paulo's skin. And I'm telling you, I had it wrong. That fight's on.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. What about the main event? Charles, I know you saw my interview with him. It's obviously the rematch. He needs to win this. What do you make of that main event? Do you see it going any differently?
No, I don't. I do find myself, when I speak about Charles, being hard on him, and he doesn't deserve that. Charles is flat awesome, and I like a guy that has all these losses in his career. He got knee-barred by Jim Miller. I happened to be there at that. But he comes back, and then I think he even knee-barred Jim Miller. I know that he beat him, but my point being, he's been kicked. He's been down. He goes out to Arizona. They take his belt away. I read those rules. I don't agree that they had the authority to do that. That's a whole nother conversation. What I'm saying is Charles Oliveira has been down, and he's picked himself back up. Now, as far as you have Charles Oliveira fought Islam, it was anything but competitive. It does not lend to a rematch. Meanwhile, you have Volkanovski in Islam that was so competitive, it was met with controversy at the end. That's the fight you remake. You don't grab these two. No, I don't agree with the fight.
Yeah. And last one, Colby and Leon. Colby getting the opportunity, waited out. It worked out for him. What do you make of that fight between those two in December?
Well, in about time. Yeah. In all fairness, I don't know what held this up. The media almost made it appear that it was Leon, but that was a guess. Yeah. Nobody actually. Leon's never been hurt. He's never been injured. That he told us. Perhaps they just didn't have a date. Perhaps they didn't have a venue. I am curious what the holdup was, though. Colby has not fought as often as you would like him to. Colby has fought as much as I fought, and I was suspended after every 2 or 3 fights. It's one of these situations where I do believe that Colby's the best in the world, wants to be a little bit more active. Here's the good news. He trains every day, twice a day. He was ready to do this fight 5 months ago. He'll be ready 5 months from now. That's the right fight, though, and Leon's something special, but that was the right fight. And I know it was a lot of work to get it by Hunter and Dana. I'm glad they stayed on it because it's the right match.
I'm glad we got this card on Saturday. Chael, thanks so much for the time. Enjoy the fights on Saturday.
I've had it with you. Kaboom.